Pask, Dylan, what's up, everybody? Hey, Dr. Claw, really glad you got that USB hub. Check on the bottom, though. Um, Make sure that the model number that's printed on the bottom has an S at the end. RSH-A10S, because it should be the correct link that I posted, but a few people had chimed in and said the one without the S was giving them some trouble, so... Also, can anybody hear this fan noise? It's really hot, and I'd like to keep the fan on, but I can turn it down if this is annoying. Hey, Pask, doing better. Still a little annoyingly sick, but, you know, it is what it is. We just keep powering forward and hope it goes away. I'm going to start out with pictures, but this is actually, I'm not just like doing my work while hanging out. This is something that I think people would probably be interested in as well. Oh, I hit the wrong button. We went dark. We went dark. Here we go. We're back. Because I'm not only just picturing this, I also want to show strain relief and all that other stuff. So, hey, Professor, cleaning the lab today, huh? Yeah, I just moved around and straightened some stuff as well in here. I actually just bought a Velodyne subwoofer that a friend had suggested because they had got the exact same one and it was magnetically shielded, and mine showed up and was not magnetically shielded. So I'm trying to figure out how to rearrange it, or if I just lost money, because it's really not much more. Like, I'd probably lose less money just keeping it and figuring out what to do with it than I would trying to return it and pay for return shipping and stuff like that. But the one interesting thing is that the direction of the magnetic field is very directional. So if I aim the front of the speaker at a CRT, it goes crazy. But if I aim the cone away from it, it barely does anything at all. And even just a short distance away, it doesn't do anything. So, yeah, I gotta figure out. Maybe I'll just keep it. That's good. There's not much pressure on here. It's a smaller box, so I don't think this is bad at all. Let's do one of those fancy askew shots. All right. Try to do one a little lower with the HDMI port. Good old candy cane HDMI cables. Yeah, I'm using them only because I hate throwing anything out, but they worked so well for like 5 years and then just kind of stopped working. Not all of them, but quite a few. So, not really sure what's up with that. But all right, that's the Xbox to HDMI. We got a couple of other fancier shots with it in case I need it for promotional materials or something. What do you think? That look kind of sexy? Yeah. Right in front of the buttons. Just calling at you like, yeah, push me. And then put me in the back. Sorry, it's Friday. I'm silly. I'm still sick. Although I'm definitely getting better. But Nas, just hold on like a minute and you'll see what I'm going to be probably suggesting for you. Good timing though, really good timing. Yeah, funny. So the same person who recommended that speaker also found another company that sells magnetically shielded speakers and subwoofers. So I've been through this before, obviously. So I emailed them and was like, "Hey, I'm this guy," and I sent a link to my magnetically shielded speakers video because whenever I don't, people are like, "What the hell are you doing? Why are you wasting your time with this?" I was like, before I recommend this to people, I want to confirm that they're actually magnetically shielded. And I got an email a couple of days later that was like, "Oh, so they used to be shielded, but they're not anymore, and we just forgot to update all of our marketing on our website." So, haha. Hey, Mike. The Mig Megahertz one's probably awesome. I haven't had a chance to test it yet, but I'd be willing to bet it's everything that you would need. The only thing is, then, if you wanted analog, you would have to use a DAC, which is fine, but I think that's a little too angled. Let me drop this one back down, and yeah, there we go. Copy these over to my hard drive real quick. Xbox to HDMI. Yeah, one more pick, and then I'll get to the other adapter. And Nas, this one's going to be for you. Yeah, Reese. So I didn't even bother trying. Mine's going directly to Jose. I've learned my lesson. If it's something I'm confident in, or if it's something I really want to learn, just for me, just for my own, personal, hey, I want to do this, then I'll take the time to learn. But if it's like, no, I just want to test this mod, write the post on it, and move on, no, it goes to Cruise. Yeah, perfect, or perfect enough. All right, let me drop that on my computer. I used to always just rely on the viewfinder of my cameras, so the little LCD screen, and then I started realizing they're much lower resolution than any monitor. So even if I think I got the perfect shot, I always just open them up on my main monitor and double check in full screen, just in case. But I got lucky. These were all excuse me, these were all good. All right. Now, my guess, without testing these yet, my guess is that this is going to be what you buy if you just need HDMI. Inexpensive, comparatively speaking, not much more expensive than the garbage cables you find on Amazon. It doesn't have extra features like the Chimeric. It doesn't break out separate digital audio, but everything just seems to work fine. High quality, no cable, so no interference. But here's what I think that the Nazs of the world are probably going to want. Yeah. Yeah, these two. So let's open up the one that I think is going to be the biggest seller here. Excuse me. Sorry. I'm still trying to shake that damn cold. Now we obviously have to interference test and everything. However, check this thing out. So we'll put this DIN connector in. I'm going to try to cover up the mic every time that happens, but that's going to happen a lot. I have to go. I'm going to go get some throat lozenges. I'll be right back. Oh, sorry about all that. If I randomly get muted, it's because I went into a coughing fit. I don't want to blow anybody's ears out. Hey, Tony, thank you so much for the super chat. And yeah, I can't wait to hear how that goes. I really hope that that's the fix to your problems. That would be really cool. All right. That was a perfect angle for a shot, too. Let me do that right now. Hey, Belmont. Congrats on being off early. What time did you start today? Like 6 a.m.? Yeah, Professor, a lot of people have been saying I've been sick too, so I guess it's not just me. Hey, Pippo, go to Tim's site. Let me, it's, oh, I guess it's temporarily out of stock, but it's there. Hey, Apocalyptic Minister, what's going on? Damn it, come on. Is it working when I cover the mic like that, or is it just still blowing everybody's ears out? Let's double check how this picture came out. Oh, not bad. Yeah. Cool. All right, that's kind of the money shot. So I want to make sure I got that one absolutely perfect. The rest could be not so perfect if I needed to. But let's take a look at the rest of this thing then. When I cover the mic, it sounds like a chicken cluck. Hey, look, as long as it's not gonna, as long as it's not gonna blow out everybody's ears, but all right. So this should do, and we'll test it in a moment. This isn't going to be just a white box stream, but this should do simultaneous HDMI and component video with a bunch of different audio options. It should really cover all ground for owners of original Xbox. And while it's not going to be as crystal clear perfect as a digital to digital mod, it's not. I mean, should be one of the top plug and play options out there. Apocalyptic Minister, can you elaborate a little bit? Would it be better to have a compatible solution for all consoles or one for each? So, if you're talking about, do you get high quality analog cables for all of your consoles and then get like a RetroTink 5X to plug all of those into that? So you basically have one scaler and then just good cables for all your consoles versus buying solutions like this for all your consoles. It all depends on how many consoles, and what your budget is. Because yes, with all respect to both companies who make these, I think they would both agree it's way better to go into a RetroTink 5X. But it's also a ridiculously different price point. And if your only analog video console is the original Xbox, are you going to spend less than $100 or even less than $50 on the other? Or are you going to spend $350? So I think that's why, respectfully, there's solutions for everybody. Did I get that right? Dr. Claw, nice. Good, you got the good one, and that also confirms that my my link doesn't suck. And before we get into uh, testing the Xbox and shots of the Xbox, here's the other adapter the Behar brothers just released. This one's the same thing, but with a component to VGA converter in there. So if you're using a PC VGA monitor, which I will be before the stream is over, you could really see how this thing, or you could really plug this directly in and then use the component video for streaming, or use component video for your consumer TV and this for, you know, your VGA monitor, whatever. That's awesome. Also, just for the record, I very stupidly many times said this was composite video. It is not. It's digital coax audio. Oops. Sorry, my bad. Alucard, yes and no. It's not Project Stellar yet. However, I am going to be saving my screenshots so that when Project Stellar arrives, I could compare the screenshots for it. But I think, you know, I mean all of this with love. There's no digs here whatsoever. But I think the Project Stellar thing is really going to be for looking forward, for people who never need to use analog video anymore. And I don't think it's going to be as big of a difference now. But a couple of years from now, when, you know, 8K scalers are a thing on your 120-inch TV, yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty big difference. Well, pretty big difference if you have an OLED. You know, I think it's one of those things where it's all relative, right? If you buy a cheap bargain bin TV, which I love, no shade if you do, you're still probably not going to notice a difference. So let me open up the f-stop a little bit. When it was just the white background, I had to lower it so that you could actually see the thing. But now, with that Xbox as contrast, yeah. So this, I think, is going to be the biggest upgrade from the original Sedusa, Exodusa, I don't, whatever. Is that you just need this much space. Whereas with the other one, you needed enough space for the box, plus for however far your HDMI cable would stick out. So strain relief, wire management, this is really just, I think that's going to be kind of key. Let me... All right, let me just check these pictures really quickly, and then I will move the white box out of the way, and we could start actually testing games. Just want to make sure the pictures came out all right. Am I still trying to get rid of those spiders? I got rid of them the first year, and then I continued to spray at the beginning of the season, and I ran into an exterminator at a party. I know it sounds like a joke with a bad punchline, but it is the honest truth. Who told me the stuff that you use for spiders, and also that it's basically more of a general thing because there isn't one specific thing that you could do to get rid of spiders. But I've been spraying that stuff. It's like a $30 can of stuff on Amazon that you can get. If you're interested, I could drop the link to it. But while there are still spiders here, it is not a problem. Seeing a spider or two a week isn't an issue. Waking up and seeing your ceiling covered with 100 spiders is an issue. Not RGB, no, because the RGB output on an unmodified Xbox is limited to 480i, not anything higher. Now you could mod it, you can go RGSB or something like that, but really it's just, If you're going down that road, then you either just have a 15 kilohertz only TV, which is cool, just grab a basic RGB cable, or you're going to be an expert that figures out other options. And yeah, SNK Kev, I'm really looking forward to testing those optical drive emulators as well. I don't have a PCFX, but I will be testing the other ones. Hey, Paisley Boxers! Moving from Seattle to New York? Where? Are you moving to the city? Are you moving to the outskirts? Be cool to have you closer. You know, now y'all have me curious. What's that stuff that oh, damn it. Alright, y'all are gonna have me racking my brain. Let me go and, I don't know if I'm gonna lose signal, but let me grab the can so I can figure out what it was that I was using to get rid of them. It's gonna be one of those things that just bothers me all day if I don't figure it out. Crossfire. Okay, I'll get the link. Crossfire, wasn't it that game, that board game from the 80s or 90s, where everybody was dressed up in leather jackets like a cool 80s person? Like only a badass would play Crossfire. Yeah, got it. Freaking $30. That's hysterical. Funny, the Exterminator says when they buy it in bulk, they're like $5 each. There you go. There's my anti-spider spray. Brooklyn! Nice, man. Can't wait to see you down at the shop. Alright, everything seems to be good here. So, let me pull this out. I'm gonna get a little shaky cam for a minute here. Well, the illusion is gone. I'm no longer in an expensive studio surrounded by all white walls. Oh, yeah, there's my box. So I think I'm gonna have to really increase the ISO here. There we go. Alright. My immersion is ruined. Joseph Ryan, still getting over that annoying cold, so I apologize if I'm accidentally coughing anybody's ear, but otherwise doing well. It's Friday, testing some Xboxes, or Xbox testing adapters. Get this all back. Mr. Pro Guy, I like Jason. He's always been really nice to me. I think he's easy to work with. I just think it's different. And I mean this with love, but I think a lot of people that watch this channel might be like, who the hell is this fat guy that just keeps testing the same 10 games over and over? I don't understand. What's the purpose? And you know what? That's totally fair. 100% fair. So I think, you know, to each their own. But he certainly provides a lot of feedback on a lot of games that people might not have known about if it wasn't for him. So no disrespect there. I'm going to install my switch real quick. I probably should have done that before, my HDMI switch. So if this drops out, just give me... The stream shouldn't drop out, but if the screen goes completely black, you should just be able to give me a second. Yeah, alright, so it's going to go black for now. I'll keep talking just if anybody joins. You know, I didn't ruin the stream again like I have the last two times I streamed. Plug it into my HDMI switch. Alright, back into the camera. And we should have video now. Do we have video? Yeah, we're back. Cool. Alright. Print optional. Yeah, I like that too. That's why I linked to it in the description. I just did a post on it, and I was like, well, we're talking about Xbox stuff, so I might as well just add that. But yeah, I thought that was pretty neat. I do think, and by the way, when I'm about to say Mr. Pro Guy, I'm not talking about you, but I do think it's pretty funny that people have just assumed there was a rivalry between us and still continue to assume so, even though we've been on each other's channels and stuff. But it's like, nope, no rivalry. I don't think I have any. I think there's people I would rather just never see ever again, ever. But I don't think it's a rivalry. I think that's just me getting annoyed with awful people, just to be honest. All right. Mm. All right, some more liquid, another cough drop. Oh, I hope you can't OD on cough drops because I think I'm about to. Nico Manism. All right, I have links for you. Where the heck is it? So, if you're a modern gamer and a retro gamer, and you're on sort of a budget, you can get last year's TCL TV for pretty cheap. That's that one. This year's TVs are supposed to be pretty good too, but I don't think they're out yet. And then, hold on, there's one more. I don't know where it went. Come on, where'd it go? There's one TV that I've been staring at, and I'm seriously considering selling a bunch of my monitors just to get it. Although I don't. Come on. I think this is it. Yeah. I think this is going to be the one right here. Now, the LG, until Vincent from HDTV Test really does reviews on these for both gaming and TV watching, the LG OLED could be the best. That one could be the best. And technically, the Sony might do a great job too if you're using a lot of standard def stuff. However, I think that the Samsung's got the most potential because of 144 hertz. I think that's a pretty big deal if you're a gamer. So I think those are going to be the ones that might really make a big splash this year. Voltar, how much are they paying me to do this? Well, funny enough, Electron Shepherd was nice enough to set up an affiliate link for me. But all of this stuff is done under the premise of honesty. So if it sucks, and I tell everybody it sucks, I'm probably going to get that affiliate link canceled. So, yeah. We'll find out in a minute. Do I have a review sample of Eon's $200 YPVPR to HDMI converter? No, but you know what? Why don't I just heat up with my heat gun a wad of solder and then just throw it up against a couple connectors and see if it sticks, and then it'll probably be the same unit, right? Zach, if you wouldn't mind just posting in the chat a link to your analysis of their previous adapters, just so people understand what it is I'm talking about. So what I want to start out with is Sega GT, because it's messy. Ah, beef. Beef doesn't need both left and right audio connected. She's not an elitist. All right, so I'm gonna switch over here and let's see what happens when I do this. Hopefully it doesn't crash. Okay, it's a good sign. Thank you, Zach. Much appreciated. Check the chat if you want to know what I'm referring to. People seem to think like that Zach and I are just elitists that only want the absolute most perfect best thing out there ever. And take a look at this. This is why we're angry at stuff. Not because it's not the best, because you pay $200 for something that looks like that. Mr. Pro Guy, that's exactly why I was just showing the Behar Brothers version, which I will show again in a second. So, alright, 480p's on, widescreen's on. Now, in these captures, it's going to get stretched to the 1080p window. So what you're seeing on screen is still going to have some weirdness on it, but I'm going to take real screenshots for you just so we could have those. Let me switch back real quick, Mr. Pro Guy, in case you missed it before. That's the one that you're probably going to want then, because it's got HDMI and component, and we should be able to use them both at the same time even, but we'll get to that in a moment. M.A. Sorry, what's my favorite thing to order at my local Chinese spot? So, if you're talking about American Chinese food, I like the stuff that's just designed for fat people, like coconut chicken and stuff like that. And this, you know, ooh, hold on. I'm getting some crackle here. But if you're talking about actual Chinese food, like China-style Chinese food, then I love Taiwanese-style pork. They cut it really thin slices of it. It's absolutely amazing. There's stuff called stinky tofu. I don't know if you've ever had stink tofu before, but if I described it to you, you'd be like, you're weird. Why would anybody want that? Trust me, it's absolutely amazing. It's not composite, by the way, though. I made that mistake myself. It's VGA, and that yellow adapter is actually digital coax. I kept saying composite, but it's digital audio. Hey, what's going on, Ian? Okay, that looks good. No interference whatsoever, even stretching it to 1080p. Let me... Yeah, wow. All right. This is great. Nishigama uses this exact Xbox to HDMI adapter and connected to an HDMI to VGA converter. Is that a proper setup? So if you already own all of that, I would say yes, that's probably perfect. I'm not sure if that's what I would go out and buy if you just needed VGA out. However, the original VGA boxes for Xbox sometimes sell for way more money than it would cost to buy what you have, in which case I would recommend it. So yeah, perfect setup. All right. I'm getting some weird interference on the audio side, and I don't know why. I'll have to check that later, because it could absolutely have to do with my streaming setup or something. Alright, so I'm going to reset this, and can I do the reset on a stock Xbox? No, it's only on the soft modded ones. Rebooting this now because I want to take screenshots of the white screen, the multiple white screens on boot. By the way, obviously 480i is compatible, otherwise we wouldn't see the Xbox screen. Alright, presented by Sega and created by WoW. This is funny, what a messy game this is. So, I'm not going to go through all of the tests again, but back in the original, connect your Xbox to a TV video I did, I showed, oh wow, that looks great. I showed how messy those cheap cables are, because they're not shielded, so you get a ton of interference going across. Yeah, I don't know if it was an official VGA box or they had it, but I just searched eBay and I couldn't find it. Yeah, weird. Jason, if you can hang on just a bit or come back later, I'll let you know how the PC CRT monitor goes with the VGA version of this. But I mean, this just looks excellent. I'm gonna throw on amped in 720p now, just for the heck of it. But I can't imagine there's anything wrong with this adapter. There's no interference on boot. It works with other resolutions. I'll check the audio later, but once again, I'm pumping this through my streaming PC, so who knows what it'll actually, what it'll do. But let's go in and set settings. Good, all that stuff's enabled. Actually, let me try setting it to stereo just for the hell of it. On video, we're gonna enable 720. I guess we'll enable 1080i too and try another one just to say that we tried it, but it's gonna work obviously. But, all right, so let's try amp 2, and this should support 720p now. Yeah, Jason, I'm just getting excited because I'm looking forward to the end of the stream where I could actually play a couple of moments of Xbox for a little bit. Yeah, I'm still having audio issues, but I'm sure it has to do with the setup and not anything else here. Nishigama, what fix? I may have missed that. Oh yeah, 720p looks great. Eh. Oh, there's an audio problem with the 1.0 Xbox motherboards. Maybe that's what I have in here. All right. Almost. I have not tested the Wii HDMI, but I have one here. I will do that on another stream at some point soon because I also have an extra Wii I gotta sell. So I figure I'll play some Wii games and then just auction the whole thing off. Yeah, I mean, I think this is a huge win. So I'll be actually playing some games in a bit. So let me switch over to test 1080i, even though it's definitely going to work. Oh. This is reading the signal as 1920 by 1080i. It's probably not going to look good because interlace never really looks good. I have played the first room in this game so many times, and I've never played past it. Yeah, Nishigama, I should have clarified. Interlaced never looks good on flat panels. If I was playing on an HD CRT right now, I bet you this would look awesome. Burritos, the reason I'm doing this is because it's one of the few 1080i compatible games. And I own it. Yay, look at all those interlacing lines. This game is ridiculous. Ah. No, I haven't played any Matrix games ever, to be honest. So, I'll double check on that audio issue, but it's looking like the Xbox to HDMI adapter is exactly what I expected. A really high quality analog to digital converter with no interference whatsoever. Might be audio issues with a 1.0 Xbox, but my gut's telling me to double and triple check my streaming setup before I jump to any conclusions. Also, I'm going to snap a picture of this so I can double check what revision it is. So, this is from April 2003. I'm not sure. So we will power this off. And now I'm going to, where's that cable? Cable for this. Did Ash steal the cable again? Fucking Ash. So I'm going to do a couple of things with this. Let me grab some component cables. close component to my scope. I want to just verify. Now, listen, if the Behar brothers changed a perfectly good design from the last to this one, I would be shocked. I think there's no chance in hell there's a, there's a problem with this, but I'd like to see for myself and for all of you, verify that they're buffering the signal with the video amp so that it is 100% safe to do this. Now, I'm not going to go and dig in deep and get individual measurements like I did last time, because it's the same. Yossi told me it's the same circuit. It's the same thing. So it should be identical to the original Sedusa, which means everything should just work fine. So let me see if I can angle this a little different for you all. All right. So I'm going to power on and just go to the main Xbox green screen thing. William McCarthy, is it true the Xbox rescales the image a little bit? I don't really know. That's interesting. What I do to the Xbox to make it look so new and shiny? It's Lance's, and he keeps the stuff in really good condition, and when he lends it to me, I keep it in equal condition. Luro Fox, thank you so much. April 03 puts it in the range of a 1.1. Okay, so I think we're all up and running. Let me... Alright, so I'm going to... Gen 2. Did I mess that up? There we go. Alright, so you can see the scope right now. Everything's being run into it. And when I remove the HDMI, nothing happens to the signal on that scope. The voltage doesn't change at all. And when I plug it back in, same exact thing. No difference whatsoever, which is what we want. That just proves that they're properly buffering everything. So you can, without a doubt, safely use both outputs at the same time. So that said, let's throw in Sega GT. And let's take some screenshots of their HDMI output. Aw, thanks so much for the support, Dan. Much appreciate the super chat. Seriously. Alright. And once again, since the fact that we're seeing this also means that it's compatible with 480i, not a shock there. Stimp, it's not my Xbox, and I think they may have already replaced it. So let's check out these screenshots here as soon as it boots. Okay, interesting. I am going to put this in Photoshop and then put this into the chat for you all to see. And I'm going to scale this in Photoshop just just so you could see it, but it's not, all right. Save it as a PNG. Let me drop this in. All right, so you can see a few things here. On the left is the Electron Shepherd one, the Xbox to HDMI, and I'm stretching with. I'm just going to zoom in with OBS here, which is kind of unfair, but kind of not. So you see the brightness difference, but you also see a little bit more interference as well. However, it could just be that the interference is there on both and you're just not seeing it because the other one's brighter. But there's definitely a brightness issue still on the Behar Brothers box. That's interesting. Let me remove this image and... Alright, I can see a little bit of interference in here as well. Oh, sorry, I was just leaning forward. Probably leaning over the mic. Audio works fine on this one. So there was an issue with the Electron Shepherd audio. Okay, interesting. So let me power off. Let me Lero Fox, maybe you could help me see if I could find that from the menu. And let me unplug the component video output from this and retake those screenshots and see if that makes a difference. Because I could be measuring the wrong thing on the scope. I mean, I doubt that. I don't want to sound like an ass, but this isn't rocket science. But I've made mistakes before. Is there anything I could find in here? Well, Brian, if you only want component video, then yeah, the best option at the moment is actually the HD RetroVision Wii cables and the Wii to Xbox or Xbox to Wii adapter. Just go to RetroRGB.com / Xbox.html and it'll have it. I just pressed the wrong button. I was trying to get the screenshot when that came up. OEM component are great too, both the boxes and the singles, so are monster cables, but if you're looking for a new solution, because sometimes used stuff gets a little beat up, sometimes not, so. Yeah, logistics, just trying to see if I could figure out a version on this. But I will now load that game up and retake those screenshots just to double check that it wasn't the fact that the component cables were plugged in. And we'll go from there. Oh, I can get the serial for you in 1 second. I just want to, I want to take these screenshots and see here. Yeah, there's no change. I don't even need to put this in Photoshop. I'm looking at the thumbnails next to each other. So, yeah. Let's get you that serial number right now, though. I'm definitely not opening it. It's not mine. So I just don't want to mess with it. 2150 411 406. Yeah, okay. So that's interesting. However, yeah, EW, I don't really get it either. I tried talking to Yossi about it, and a couple of years ago, I would have had time to take it all apart for him, do my own analysis, redo the circuit, but I don't have time, and I don't mean to sound like an asshole, but I'm not getting paid for this, so I'm not dropping a day's worth of work to fix a design. You know, they were nice enough to send me these, but I'm also shipping them right on to the next reviewer and to the next person. So it's you know, I hope I don't sound shitty saying stuff like that, but I'd like to help more. I don't have enough hours in the day, so not much else I could do. Oh, wrong cable. I'm just trying to get the tink out here now. Hey John, I actually prefer having the 480i dashboard for testing, but that's a good tip. I always forget. I appreciate that. Why don't I just get some more hours? Oh, I fucking wish. Oh, I wish. Okay. Tink is plugged in. Should be getting some tink signal soon. All right. That nice pretty blue Mike Chi default thing right there. All right. Let us plug all this in. Ooh. All right. Now, let's use the tink and try to get our settings right for this. Output resolution, 1080p fill. Yeah, all right. So let's reboot the game and take those screenshots again. Oh, thanks, Brian. That's nice of you. All right. So through the tink, let's see. Yeah, so it's still dim. It's basically the same. So my guess would be that the resistors on the input side aren't matching up properly. They might be 75 ohm termination, but that might not be. That might be right, with the exception of it's going through a THS chip with some other circuitry on there. So this is definitely too bright, and this is disappointing because I mean we already had the talk with Yossi about it, so I don't really know what to say about that. Thank you, awesome super chat, much appreciated, William. Well, I would like to do one more test here. Well, I'd like to do a couple actually. All right, audio on that one's fine as well. So let's switch over to the VGA version and test a couple of things here. So I'll unplug this. Also, I do want to make the point. Uh-oh, I'm echoing. Hold on. I'm going to keep my mouth shut for a minute. All right. I'm no longer echoing. Um, so I do want to make a point that while I'm absolutely nitpicking the brightness and quote-unquote interference that you see in this one, it's still light years better than that crap you can get at Amazon. So props there. But now let's run it through the VGA version just to see. There shouldn't be any difference, but, you know, we'll figure it out. Oh, it was your first super chat ever, William? Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It's nice of you. All right, so we're tanked. We're Xboxed. Let's plug this thing in, turn it on. All right, we're getting signal. It's always a good thing. Aw, thanks for the super chat, Monty. If we could actually buy more hours, this would probably only be enough for a nanosecond. What was that movie with Justin Timberlake and Olivia Wilde? I really loved the premise of that. I thought that was very cool. Was it something like Out of Time? Something super obvious? It looks the same. Let me throw them in Photoshop and I'll put it in the in time. Yeah, I'll drop a link. I enjoyed that movie. Yeah, that was exactly it. 12 years ago. Amanda Seyfried and Seyfried. She says it different than everybody else says it. Yeah, I'll drop that in the chat. Chemical Operator 423, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm higher than a FW 900. You rock, Bob. Thank you. Thank you very much. Man, I'm sick. I wish I could just get high and pretend that I'm not sick, but I got a bunch of work to do. Maybe I'll eat a very mild edible later and just hope it doesn't make me worse. So let me throw these in Photoshop real quick just to show you the difference. Did anybody see that Theranos thing with Amanda Seyfried and the TV show one they just did? Holy shit, she can act. Like, I mean, I always knew she was a good actress, but like, wow, that was nuts. That whole scene with her in the mirror. Yeah, all right. My comparison shot isn't exactly coming out that great, so let me so, all right. I'm gonna this is gonna be a ridiculous looking comparison, but you'll understand what I mean or what I'm trying to do as soon as I get to it. So it's yeah, this is terrible. This is embarrassing comparison shots, but for whipping something up live on stream, I think you'll all completely understand what I'm trying to get at here. And remember, the aspect ratios are going to be off because I have it in 1080p over. There's a whole bunch of stuff here, but coming up in a second. Sorry for the silence. I'll explain. This is so dumb. I would never, ever, ever put this in a post. But just in interest of everybody's time, I don't want you just hanging out while I play with Photoshop here. So let me... You can laugh all you want, but give me a moment to explain this insanity. So on the left is Electron Shepherd, and that should be true white, and that should be what we're getting here. Remember, nothing else has changed, so it's not like I'm changing settings on my computer. The left part of the S and the G, the part that matches, that's just the Xbox, that's the Behar Brothers HDMI out. Then that strip in the middle is component video going into the RetroTink via the HDMI one, and that entire piece on the right is component video going into the RetroTink from the VGA one. And so the component video on both looks different than the direct HDMI out. Now this could be RetroTink's processing in there too, and there's also interference across all of it. Zach, are you seeing this? Do you want me to show a picture of the inside of the Behar Brothers adapter? Maybe you could just see what they're missing here. All right, let me do that real quick right now then. Let me get rid of this image. Let me flip it over here. And I will open this one. And if, I will put up a screenshot, but I will also hold it up live on camera so we could all see. I'm gonna fire down that last cough drop. I'm gonna need to run up and get more. Might just pour a glass of whiskey with like a shot of honey in it. Like a full shot of honey, not like a splash. Both because I'm fat and because it helps your throat. No, wrong ones. Yeah, perfect. Oops. All right, so I'm definitely gonna need to take a picture of it. So let me do that real quick. I'll post that on stream for everybody. Oh, that actually came out on the first try. All right, let me upload this right now for everybody to look at. Zach, I'll also drop that in Discord so you could have the original. Oh, hey, Shadow Mask. Coconut oil always made me cough, like, even if I wasn't sick. Kind of odd. All right, Zach, check your chat. Super fast. How do these compare to the Chimeric Systems HDMI adapter? The Chimeric and the Electron Shepherd should be the same. The only advantage is the Chimeric is a cable, so if you need to bend it around the side, that helps. And I think they offer a version with SPDIF out if you need that, but both are good. If you just want a smaller, more compact version, the one I'm testing here seems well. All right, Zach, explain away then. DJM took 10 weeks for their cough to go. Ugh. Every couple of years, I'll have a cough where it'll just last for like 3 months. And it's annoying. It usually happens every other year. But I mean, I guess 2021 is when I got COVID, and that lasted 7 weeks. So yeah, probably. It's funny, years ago, one of my friends is like, why don't you make a hot toddy? Like, what the hell is that? She was like, it's tea and whiskey and honey. I'm like, I'm sick. I don't want booze. I want to get better. She's like, you've never had one. And I ended up making one, and I called her 10 minutes later. I'm like, I actually feel better. Thank you. Chemical Operator, another super chat. Thank you so much. Looking forward to the next collaboration with Steve and Lewis via Zez Retro. Who? No, I'm kidding. I love those guys. Or perhaps they could be a guest on your podcast. How soon are you thinking? Whenever they invite me. Love those guys. Anything they need, I'm there. I always enjoy being part of their podcast. So Voltar says the larger QFP is most likely an ADV 7200 series. And by the way, Zach, you could disagree with me if you'd like, but I don't have any problem with the Behar brothers scraping off components because whether this thing's the best Xbox adapter ever or whether it's just fine, we don't want Bitfunks to just clone it tomorrow. So I mean, the build quality certainly seems decent. I'm just really wondering what the brightness issues are. And they're buffering it, it looks directly into the THS-7374. So any interference is probably from that pigtail. Anything on the bottom of the PCB? Let me look right. Let me open it up. And just for the record, I'm sure everybody listening already knows this, but if you're just tuning in or something, this is an adapter that the Behar brothers are selling and have been selling. If this was a prototype, I would never, ever, ever be showing it off like this online, especially without permission or anything. But Yossi sent it to me knowing that I was going to do this, and it's it's a public adapter. It's out there, so it's very important to me. I would never, if I've done this many times in private, but I wouldn't just like be showing pictures of somebody's adapter that's not out yet. All right, there's really nothing on the bottom. Well, yeah, you can't see with the damn picture in the way, you moron. Sorry. Let me zoom in and focus this for you. So there's nothing on the bottom worth taking a picture of except just that odd ground plane in the middle. Any idea why that's there, Zach? I got nothing, but it's basically just the through-hole components and yeah. So nothing really on here. And you said you wanted a picture of the oscillator? Yeah, let me get that for you. I'll just take a second. Not Nacho Sonic, don't die, Bob. Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying. The Xbox to Wii Component Pro on Castlemania? Let me take a look at that in a minute. Oh, no, that's the exact same that Jan has. It's just now sold through Castlemania as well. I also linked to that on the website. I should have put that in the chat. It's still a little blurry. Let me, Oh, I think I nailed it with that one. Yeah, let me get you this pic. That's, yeah. So there's that picture. Oh, I forgot to drop that in the other chat. Sorry, dude. Oh, geez, James. Their original Xbox met its maker in a house fire. Oof, sorry to hear that. Zombie Phoenix. This one, the the Bayar Brothers one performed fine, but not as good as the Electron Shepherd. So Voltar's here with us trying to figure out why. There's definitely a brightness issue again, which didn't really make sense to me. And we're just checking a couple of things. And while we're checking that, let me drop those links in for anybody that's just looking for a just basic component where you don't need anything else. All right. So just scroll down to the. In fact, I'll edit this now. All right, I just there we go. I just updated the description. That should work. So Zach, is there anything you want me to try for this? I don't want to. I could swap a couple of resistors out if you really wanted me to. I think we all know my skills aren't exactly top notch for this stuff, but I could certainly handle something like that. Let me put this other one back. But I mean, they have the 75 ohm termination coming in. Yeah, is there too much termination on the output? Do I just remove a couple of those 75 ohm resistors and bridge them? On the input side, I see just the three, right from the input jack up here on top, and the three below it, that should be red, green, blue. The one over on the right should probably be, I don't know what that would be. Yeah, take your time, dude. While you're doing that, I'm going to set up for the VGA stream, and we'll go from there. All right. Move this back a little bit. All right, so I'll power this off for a second. Gonna move the tink over. All right. So that should have enough slack there. And Lyrofox, it is actually Lord Voltar, and you shall only speak if you are spoken to first. Oh yeah, thick boy. Here we go. 20-inch VGA monitor. I gotta find myself a VGA cable somewhere. Alright. Getting there, getting there. Do I have enough slack to, I do. Oh, I'm gonna knock that down or trip and fall live on stream. This is gonna be hilarious. Belmont, weekend time. Wish I didn't have so much stuff to do and I felt better, because I would love to just take a few hours off and eat an edible or something. Now I got a VGA cable here somewhere. Yes, a good one too. Cool. Steve from HD Retrovision found these for me years ago. It's the one I have linked in the Amazon store. They're like $8 and they're fully shielded. Ah, nice, Belmont. Captain General Darth Voltar the First. Flower of Flux, shiniest of so solder connections. Love it. Yeah, DJM, the Porta does use different components. If you're lucky, you could still find some of the older ones left over in stores, but mostly they're not as good. We're also trying to come up with a solution for that, but it's been rough. So this is interesting. I want to set it to 4:3, but this is probably not going to, yeah, signal's out of range, so we're going to have to use the tink to change the resolution. Zach, when I clicked on your link, Imgur said this post may contain erotic imagery. It's a fucking spec sheet. Wow, they got that one wrong. Actually, since that's got lettering on here, I could use this to focus real quick before I do that. Let me and maybe this is the best setting. We'll find out in a second. That's getting some flicker. Well, I'll focus with this, and then I'll... Yeah, that should be the one that I end up using. No, still flicker, so... Alright, I'm going to go back to the other one. So, Zach, could you explain why that's relevant, and if that would affect any of what you see here, any of the interference or the brightness? Video mode, normal. Funny that that's considered normal. And yeah, screw it. Let's leave these on. Turn off 1080i because that won't work. All right, so 480p, 720p, video mode normal. Yeah, James, a buddy of mine hooked me up with this, and for a very fair price. And they have another one that I want to test as well that might be able to do some different stuff. So I just haven't had time to go get it. Hopefully they. I mean, it's been almost a year. If they threw it out or sold it, I don't blame them. But hopefully my buddy Chris held on to it for me. Uh-oh. Why am I getting a signal here? It's going into my camera. Let me Alright, so that's through the tink. You could still see the interference. Damn. And nothing on the camera side. Come on, camera. There we go. Alright. Hi, camera. So I'm really interested to see how this looks on a VGA monitor, because it just looks so messy, even on like everything, basically. This I probably should have been a little more clear. I'm talking about this specific game, not Xbox. Alright, I'm gonna try to make this a little bit cooler for you all. Let me get that, lower this down. Okay, you can still see the reflection of me in here, but not terrible. Let me lower my chair down. Just very easy. I was never good at this game. I mean, Zach, if you actually wanted to, I would very happily send you this HDMI adapter for you to look at. I just and I mean this with love to everybody listening. Like, I don't want Zach to have to sit here and fix an adapter that he's not getting paid to fix just to be able to make $3 of revenue on a video. That's not a dig to Zach. That's not a dig to Yossi. That's just life. That's just, I'm just trying to be honest. I've lost so much money the past few years helping people that took advantage of that, and I don't want to push that on you. However, Zach, if you think it would be fun, by all means, go for it. Because I know Yossi well enough to know that they want to make a good product, and they didn't make a bad product. That's definitely sure. I'm sure of that, because you and I, Zach, have seen a lot of bad Xbox products. This is not it. But it could definitely be better. And I'm definitely seeing some interference in the signal. You know what I think might be a fun comparison here, just to see? So I'm gonna oh, I still got that stupid moire pattern on screen, huh? Let me try this. Is that gone or is it worse? I don't have a Zach, I don't have like a DVD of a test disc I could use. I would have to burn one. One of those, like, calibrate your DVD player discs that have all white screens and stuff. All right, at least I got rid of some of that moire pattern for you. But you know what I think might be a fun experiment here? Excuse me while I whip this out. Let's try the Xbox to HDMI through this. Let's see how that works for a VGA output. And I'll see if I could, you know what? I'm even going to do it through the same VGA cable I just used. I'm not even going to plug it directly. I want to try a more apples to apples comparison. So here's that same exact VGA cable. I'm going to get plugging right into this adapter. By the way, this is an $8 cable, RetroRGB.link/cheap DAC. This sucker works great on so many different things. The Renke one I think works a little bit better, but this is just a compact, awesome little thing that I love using for testing. All right, let's fire the sucker up. See if we can see a difference. I bet it's lower than 600 millivolts, to be honest with you. Funny how the image on screen shifted a little bit. It's like rotated. I didn't think the other one was. But that would not be the Electron Shepherd adapter. That would be the HDMI to VGA DAC thingy I have. Quick battle. So it already looks better. This is still a messy game, but I don't see the interference in the clouds. And this game is notoriously dark, like annoyingly dark. Even if you used the official Microsoft cables on CRTs of the day, it's just annoyingly dark. So I think that's another thing that kind of accentuated the other adapter. But this looks fine. I'm going to be looking forward to playing Amped again in a minute, but this is definitely an improvement. There's some black level issues, but I think that's the DAC that I'm using. Because remember, we're going from component video to HDMI back to analog VGA with that adapter. This does look very good, though. Yeah, let's play a nicer looking game, though. All right, Zach, how about this? Let me play 2 or 3 minutes of Amped, and we'll end on exactly what you just suggested. Not just Sonic, the Behar Brothers splits the output to component and to VGA. So the aspect ratio is off because I have it in 720p mode, like a moron. But this still looks absolutely excellent. I always thought it was really creative in this game to allow you to go down, have like the sides here where you go off track, but you're still going downhill. I remember this from when it came out 20 years ago. Wow, this looks really good, even with me setting up the wrong aspect ratio here. Wow, that does look absolutely gorgeous. In case you can't tell, I'm a big fan of CRTs. Hmm. Let's see. I'm just looking. Let me try it. Let me turn down the f-stop a little bit in this. Ooh, okay. You're still getting a moire pattern, but oh yeah, that looks a little bit better on stream. I don't know where the hell I'm going, but do not have a copy of Star Wars on DVD. I probably should though. Wow, that looks good. All right, so I'm gonna take Zach's advice here. Let me move this out of the way for a moment, and let's start hooking some stuff up. Zach, I'm gonna leave the box apart in case you want me to take any more shots or anything like that. But I think I might just send this one to you to take a look at. I'm gonna leave amped in. Let me just kind of just take a moment here to figure out where I'm going and what I'm doing. All right. So I still don't dislike either of the Behar Brothers adapters. I still think if you need dual output and HDMI and VGA, it's something that you might want to consider. However, it's still so much better than those junk adapters you get elsewhere, but it's not as good as the Electron Shepherd one. And while I don't have one here, I don't think it's as good as the Chimeric Systems one, but those haven't been in stock ever, really. I'm sorry to throw shade, but like, it's unfortunately the truth. They were kind of always impossible to get. But I mean, anybody that's been following any of the stuff that we work on knows how hard it is to make cables, and especially to make good cables. So I'm not mad at them for it, I'll just say. Cyber damaged their VGA monitor just by messing with the geometry settings. Did you go really far off, or did you just, or was it just a freak thing that happened? Lyro Fox, I have seen a weird ghosting issue like that, and not only have I seen it, there's scenarios in which it happens on basically every single one that I see, or that I use, especially with BVMs and stuff like that, and I'm not really sure the best way to nail that down to figure out how to fix it, to be honest with you. But it only affects very specific scenarios. It's never really a huge deal. It's not like something I see 24/7, or every moment that I'm using it. Getting the last few things plugged in here. this one here. Almost ready. I just kind of need a moment to pull this forward and get the last cables plugged in. Interesting. Is it a monitor that should not have had a 720p signal going to it? Because what I have seen before is monitors that were already on its way out. If you tried to zoom too far, it would shoot the beam farther than the CRT was actually supposed to be shooting it, and it could kill the CRT that way. But it's not something that would have happened, at least in the situations that I'm talking about. I don't know if this is yours, but it's not something that would have happened on a brand new one. It's only something that would happen on, one that's quite a few years old and stuff like that. Oh, oh, well, that's not good. Anybody know what this goes to? Oh, it's the end of my tripod. Oh, that's fine. I'll get that later. That made me nervous for a second there. All right. So let's see if this works. Gonna go dark for a second. And we'll see what we got. Anything? Anything? Oh, I forgot to turn the power on the other thing. Hold on. We're getting there. I think we're getting there. Okay. Here we go. So I'm going to do something that's going to seem weird. Hopefully it doesn't crash the stream. Nope. Okay. So this is going to seem strange at the moment. Like, why would anybody play like this? But hopefully you'll be able to understand what I'm getting at here. Right, so you should be able to see this very zoomed, so you could see absolutely no interference or anything on here. Okay, and I'm also going to see if I could do one other thing real quick. I can't quite tell because I'm going through a preview window, but no, that looks like shit. I'm sorry. I apologize. Alright, that is kind of interesting. So, with it zoomed like this, you should be able to see if there's any interference whatsoever. And I'm not seeing any interference. I just see a really nice clear image. And obviously, whenever you zoom something, you start to see every imperfection of the game itself. But as far as like anything wrong with the image or anything wrong with the Electron Shepherd, this thing seems to look pretty spot on. This is the test I would like to run on the Project Stellar one. I think that would be kind of fun, because now you could run full zoom and really start to see the differences. All right, so the last thing I want to do is I want to do the same test with the Behar Brothers device plugged in, and I'm not trying to pick on them. I'm not causing trouble. This is just I'm being fair, and I still have mentioned many times that I think it's a decent adapter. Uh, I just think we could make it better. But let me plug this in. I'm going to keep talking rambly more than usual just to let you all know I'm still here. The black screen is just because I'm swapping adapters. Got the Behar Brothers HDMI in now. Alright, should be the same exact test, same settings. I'm not going to touch the remote. Everything should just start working. Alright, here we go. Zach, yeah, but I try not to judge in the title screen only because of its because it's 480i and because it could be a million different issues. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Yeah. We need Mark to appear out of nowhere and say shimmering. He's such a good sport about that. I messaged him one day a couple of years ago and was like, "Hey, Mark, can you record you saying the word shimmering like 3 or 4 times so I can make fun of you in a video?" And he's like, "Absolutely." So, yeah, Patty's got a good sense of humor. Wait, it wasn't rainbowing last time. It was not at all this bad. Definitely not. Let me try a different pigtail. Maybe I crimped that pigtail or something. I'm going to be doing the same thing, powering off, so hope, it's going to look like the stream's going dead, but it's not. For the record, I still have the case off of the Behar adapter, but it's sitting on a piece of wood, so there shouldn't be any shorts underneath it. It's not like I have it on a metal table or there's a screw underneath shorting something out, causing interference. Oh, it's the same thing. All right. Maybe it's because it's in 720p. Zach, because 720p is a higher bandwidth and a higher frequency, is it possible that the chips on this device are going to react differently to 720 than 480? I'm going to test it right now anyway, but video, turn off 720. All right. By the way, right now it's dropping because I have it running through a prototype through a bunch of different cables. So this what you see right here, this flickering thing, that don't worry about. That 99% is me. What I'm worried about is how it looks when we boot the game, and that could also be a result of analog to digital converter into a digital to analog to digital converter. So thanks, Zach. Okay, so there's more rainbowing and more interference in 720p, at least connecting it through this. That is super interesting. Huh. So this means we're definitely going to have to run one last test before I go, plugging it directly in to see if it's the way we're doing this Zoom thing. I'd still take this over a pound cable, that's for sure. Because at least you get more options. But at the moment, the Electron Shepherd is the winner for me. All right, so I'm going to pause it, and now I'm just going to plug HDMI directly into the Xbox adapter, not through a scaler or anything. And mind you, this is still going to be stretched to 1080 via OBS, but we'll see. Okay. Alright, so this is just direct into the capture card. So any of the zoom things that we just did might have just been a result of the prototype scaler and an ADC going into a digital processor. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let me set this. Alright, hold on a second. So this is set to 720 by 480. This is by... I'm still here. I'm just re-adding the source. Maybe this is OBS in the, just not letting me... Wow, I'm sorry. I thought the... Oh, my bad. Sorry. When I re-added the capture device, it cranked the volume all the way up. Ugh, sorry. Yeah, funny. No one listens to listen. You said no one needs to listen to this crap band. How much you want to bet I'm gonna get a freaking copyright strike or something for for that 2 seconds of music that I accidentally played through this? I could try aiming the mic back up at my face a little bit, but I think that's about it for that. So I want to try 720 one more time. All right, and oh, and video should be video mode, widescreen. There we go. Okay. When I was playing through the VGA monitor, I should have set it to letterbox, and it should have squared it off for me, but the test is a heck of a lot less fun when all I could see is interference. Oh boy. Yeah. Let me remove the capture device and re-add it. And when I re-add it, I will immediately lower the volume. You know, wrong capture device, damn it. Hold on. There we go. Woo! Yeah, it does not like 720p, huh? I'm going to leave this centered just to show everybody that it is not the scaling of OBS. I know that might be annoying in stream right now, but I just think that's more fair. Yeah, obviously, Zach, they didn't try 720p. Oh, man. Oof. I'll have to update my post on it. I think so, too. I think that's exactly it. Technically speaking, 1080i is less bandwidth than 720p because it's about the same as 540p, right, Zach? So testing out that other game in 1080i wouldn't really do a thing because this is pushing it harder. I think. They're close in bandwidth, but 720p is higher, correct? Well, now it's time to enter the matrix one final time. So we'll boot it in 720p, and then we'll switch it over to 1080i. Amped doesn't support 1080i, which is why I got to do it with enter the matrix. You know, I try to stay completely agnostic to the companies that I work with, but I really like Yossi and the Behar brothers, and I really want their products to succeed. But yeah, I don't know. This one isn't very good. I don't know how else to say it. For 720p and up, for 480p it's fine, but that's a pretty big mistake. Okay, so we can see the same type of interference in it. And remember, I tried both pigtails that they sent with this as well. So yeah, it's pretty noticeable. Whoa. Ah, I didn't even mean to make a stupid Keanu Reeves joke, but yeah, whoa. Okay, let me flip it over to 1080i now, and I don't know how this AverMedia card or OBS or anything is going to handle 1080i, but I'm still interested to see it. All right, let's fire this up and see what we got. I'll see if I could switch this to, actually, let me, yeah, 1080. Yeah. Yeah, same thing, right? I would just like to once again politely remind everybody that this is not a pre-production prototype. I'm not outing somebody's product. This is already available for sale. So, well, Zach, you're right and wrong. For 720p and 1080i, yeah, a pound cable, but at 480p, it wasn't nearly this bad. So, all right, one last test, and then I guess I'm just gonna call it because it's getting a little depressing. But this is through. So this is the Behar Brothers box with HDMI plugged directly into it. What I would also like to try one last time is going from component video into a Tink just to see, just to make absolutely sure, or just to try to help nail down the problem. Is the problem only in the HDMI output side, or is the problem also through the component video side? Because I think that's a very important piece of troubleshooting information for them to work on. So, the screen's going to go blank for a minute, but it's just me. The stream hasn't died yet. Although, you know, you never know with me. I've killed streams before just by changing resolutions. So, plugging in there, running the cables over. Just going to keep annoyingly talking so you know that the whole stream hasn't crashed. And let's go green, red, blue. And then I just have to plug in the HDMI cable, and we should be back up and running in about 10 seconds from now. This one's, it's 70 if you get the one with the pigtail. HDMI output. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Well, let me try to one other thing, just so I could make sure that I do my diligence and I don't say that I was using prototypes or something. Let me just try one last little thing here. This is more for me. This is the Lockheed Martin Skunkworks scaler, Zach, but it is technically a prototype. So I don't want to chance a prototype skewing these results in any way. So now this is the RetroTink 5X, which we all know how this thing performs. We don't need to, nobody needs a crash course on how well we all trust this thing. So that's 1080i via the Tink 5X. So, you know, let me drop it back to 480p just to see one thing. Did something happen here? Is this, in my messing with it, did I short the thing together? Did I drop it? Did I mess something up? Let me just set it back to 480p and just see. It should be a little bit of interference, but not bad. So 480i, it doesn't seem like there's much interference at all. Let's just set it back to 480p. And if we have minimal interference, we could kind of know what the issue is. If there's a ton of interference, then I broke something, and that's not a true reflection. But the fact that we're not really getting interference in 480i right now is a bad sign for the Behar brothers, unfortunately. I wanted this to work so bad. Yeah. Yeah, so there's just a tiny bit of interference now. So unfortunately, I really was, as weird as this sounds, I was very much hoping that I would turn on this game and it would be crazy interference, because that would mean that I broke it, which would mean, cool, good, the product isn't broken in 720p and 1080i, but unfortunately it is. And now I gotta email Yossi and tell him I just did a live stream where we found out his product's broken. Ugh, I hate doing that. Here's why I know I'm not a bad person, but I'm definitely not a good person. I know I'm not a bad person because it makes me feel like I feel bad having to tell them that we caught a bug in their product. But if this was Eon, I would think it was fucking hilarious. So definitely not a good person either. I think you've absolutely nailed it, Zach. I think that is part of the interference problem. So at least the cables aren't the issue. So it's not that they're unshielded pigtails. I think that's absolutely it. Luke, you know what? Let me grab my screenshots and see, because if I don't think there was this interference on that. Let me check that out. Sorry, my hard drive's spinning up. I keep my mechanical hard drives, since I barely use them. I set my computer to spin them down when not in use. I am not seeing this interference. Yeah, let me double and triple check before I open my mouth here, but I am not seeing that interference on the Sedusa without, well, I don't know. Let me just check. Yeah, I'm not seeing that interference on the Sedusa, which means it could be it could be the pigtail and the DAC, or the I'm sorry, the ADC, not the DAC. Yeah, so the pigtail might be contributing to this as well. I'm not seeing the interference with the let me just put it up here real quick for you all to see, because it's not really fair for me to just be telling you stuff. So the pigtail itself might be a problem, and the ADC might be a problem. Well, DJM, even, let's just say this is fixed, right? Let's just say you get the plug and play version without the pigtail, and then let's say you get the they fix this whole thing. Now you get component video, HDMI, and digital audio all from the same thing. That's a lot of value. Yes, you could buy the Electron Shepherd, and you could buy an HDMI splitter, and you could buy a component to HDMI, or a HDMI to whatever converter, component, VGA, whatever. You could get that for about the same price. But one handy little box that plugs in is certainly a good idea. So, all right. So let me just use this, and then let me. Medusa. Yeah, unfortunately, this is going to be a very good, bad description. um, All right, now I did scale this in Photoshop to 1080p, so the scaling is going to be a little off and a little bit soft. So this is not a sharpness test. I will not be including this in any write-up. This is just for everybody who's been watching. Photoshop's still saving here. Jason, the best transcoders I've used are the RetroTink transcoders. However, if you're on a budget or if you want a device that does many things, then yeah, the GBSs are freaking awesome. Okay. So I'm not sure how this is going to look on stream, but on the left is the version that I tested today, and on the right is the original Sedusa, and on the right it's actually it's still a little too dark. You know what? Let me add into that as well. Yeah, here, let me. Yeah, I think this will probably be the best test for you, and I'll leave us at that one. But let's all be respectful about this because I'm rooting for the Behar brothers. I want this to work well. I want them to come back and fix it, and I want this to be the adapter that people who need all outputs use, not just HDMI. Obviously, if you just need HDMI, we already have one. You know, we already have the solution here with the Electron Shepherd one. All right, so here, let me change this around. Zach, if you're still on, be nice. So what we have on the bottom is the Electron Shepherd device, which let me zoom in even more here. All right. So once again, the softness is because of how I scaled, but on the bottom is the Electron Shepherd. White is white. Everything else seems to be fine. There's no interference. Whereas the top left is the device from today, dark and interference, and the top right is the original Sedusa, dark, no interference. Oof. Well then, stream didn't end the way I wanted it to, but as always, I had a hell of a lot of fun with you all. So I'm going to slap all this together, and I'll contact the Behar brothers, and we'll see what we could get. But yeah, I think that's how we're going to have to leave this. So as I've been doing, what I'm going to do now is just plug my camera back in and just clean up with all of you still on stream here, and I can answer any questions you all might have, whether it's about what we did today or if you just want to nerd out for a little bit. But this way we can just hang out for a tiny bit longer while I clean up, and then I will call it for the day. Hey Armando. Let me get all these cablings up. So Cyber, here's the problem. Buying from AliExpress is exactly like buying from eBay and Amazon. Who is the person selling it? And the issue is there's just so many good sellers out there who have properly modded a GBS 8200 and everything's awesome. However, there are also a whole bunch of people who have done terrible mods. And, you know, how would you know unless you bought it, unfortunately? So, yeah, Method Boy, definitely not Pound. However, Chimerics are out of stock. So this thing right here, this is by far the winner today, no doubt. And that's linked in the description. So I think it's just retrorgb.link/Xbox to HDMI, the number 2. But yeah, today so far that was a hard win. No interference whatsoever. which means that both they routed the board properly, since there's no wire here, so there's no interference from bad cabling. The board is properly routed, and it worked great in 720p mode and in 1080i, which also means that the analog to digital converter they're using is properly tuned for higher resolutions as well as standard TV resolutions. So that's kind of just a win across the board right there. Yeah, let me get a little better zoom here. Wrong direction. There we go. I'll put this case back on. And thanks to Lance, one of the people who runs Retro World Expo, for lending me this Xbox. The stream is not sponsored by Retro World Expo, but fuck it, I love the crew, so I'm gonna shout him out and say thank you. I am still looking for a sponsor though. My cousin works for a bigger company that makes drinks. And like energy drink type of things, and I keep telling him to get me sponsored. Like, let's do this, man. I can make a good energy drink commercial, but yeah, I don't think that's happening. Yeah, funny, Jason. My only complaint at all about the Electron Shepherd one is there's a bunch of devices out there that have similar names. So when I recommend it, people kind of roll their eyes like, "Oh yeah, that piece of crap from Amazon. I've seen that thing. It doesn't work for shit." And it's like, no. This isn't a generic rebrand. This is actually a thing, a real thing designed by a person who understands what they're doing. So, but I mean, on the flip side, can you think of a better name for this thing? So put this back together. I should be out of here in like 2 minutes, but if anybody's got any questions, definitely now's the time. And this Xbox is going back to Lance soon, and I will go back to being a person who owns an Xbox controller and a stack of Xbox games that I only use for testing, but don't actually have an Xbox. Oh crap, did I leave my game in here? Son of a bitch. I think I did. Method Boy, what about Kaiko? Method Boy, I don't know. I want to answer this very carefully. If you're new to all of this, then those are good questions. But it sounds like you're trolling me because of the history. But if you're new to all of this, then you obviously are not. But Kaiko is a company that that helps clone and steal devices from the retro gaming community. They work closely with Bitfunks, who actually does the stealing. And Bitfunks is one guy out of China, not a team of people, one person that is responsible for more cloning than all other cloning in retro gaming combined. Kaiko buys stuff from them and rebrands it. Kaiko has also helped them procure stuff for cloning. So Kaiko will buy something from a good, reputable store, sell it, send it to Bitfunks, they'll clone it, and then a couple of weeks later, Kaiko will be selling it on their website. And Kaiko has even done stuff so brazen as order an adapter to Kaiko International in the UK, and then, a month later, they have the exact product up on their Twitter account. Hey, look at our new product. What do you think of this? And it's and the original person who sold it already has it on file that they bought that exact thing from them a month earlier. So yeah, absolute horrible clone companies. Ryan, what's my recommended auto-switching HDMI splitter that works with Xbox One, RetroTink? All right, let me drop it in the chat for you. There is that one that I still love. I mean, I still use this sucker all the time. It's not 4K 120 compatible, but so there's two. Here is my absolute favorite. Links are in the description, but there's also a full review there. Then Method Boy, please keep asking the questions, And if I make a wise-ass comment, please, please, please understand I'm not making fun of you. I'm making fun of the companies that steal this stuff. But yeah, ask away then, my friend. This is the other splitter I found that I really liked that has downscaling. And that is for people who want to game in 4K on their TV, but stream in 1080p. So the downscaling's fine. It doesn't look perfect. There's going to be some issues with it that's going to annoy you, but look at the price of that splitter and then kind of think about what you're getting for that money. And then suddenly that mediocre downscaling for your streaming side is going to be way better. But it's good enough that I even use it for my current setup now, where I have a 4K projector and a 1080p plasma in here. So I'm able to really keep everything set to the same if I needed it to, which is also really helpful, because if I have a device set to 4K output and I'm trying to use my plasma, sure, I can just go set it to 1080p, but then I gotta go fire up another device to do so. Whereas with that downscaler, I'm actually using the switch in the HDMI. You know what? Let me drop that link too. I'm using the switch from the HDMI shootout video in order to get that downscaling. No, I think I actually am using that downscaler. But either way, it makes it really easy, because then it boots up in downscaling mode. So I get a fine image on my my plasma. Not perfect, but totally fine. And then I just go into the device, switch it manually to 1080p, and now the image looks great again. So, and same thing, right? If I open up my projector and it's still running in 1080p, no big deal. I just switch the resolution. But that's a massive help even for that. Yeah, Jason, I absolutely agree. And if I had a different setup today, I would actually have been streaming it on the plasma just for that reason. But I will definitely, when I start doing, when I do a Wii stream, I think that's what I would love to do, is do that stream on the plasma TV, so you could kind of all see for yourselves how great that is. All right, so got Lance's Xbox back. My game. I knew I forgot something. Ha! I wish the Xbox doesn't have a. Oh, it does have a little eject thingy in there. Oh, I wonder if I still have my little eject tool. I haven't done this in years. Let's see if my tool still works. Ah, still got it. Yeah, there are a lot of awesome stuff coming out fairly soon that I'm pretty excited about, and that's certainly one of them. All right, only got about a minute before I'm done, so any other questions at all, fire away, and hopefully I can help anybody out. That splitter, though, I know I keep talking about it, but like, that's one of those tools that I always use the stupid analogy. Just think of this as a tool in your toolbox, and do it that way. And it kind of sounds like BS. Like, all right, Bob, you're just trying to get us to spend your $20, but here it is, right next to my PC, 24/7. I use this thing for so many different reasons. Jason, will I use the newly discovered deflicker and 480p bug enhancement options for Wii on Homebrew in the future? Yes, absolutely. My gut is telling me that it's going to sort of be like the N64, um, uh, the sharpening mod and everything, where I might not like it all the time, but yeah, I think so. Is there a way to clean the Wii output? Yeah, use Dolphin and render it in a higher resolution. um, when I test the Wii to HDMI, which I have sitting here, that'll definitely be an upcoming stream. And when I do end up testing it, what I will kind of go through all of that and just see how it all works. However, I would really like to do a Dolphin stream someday where I try to render it in as high a resolution as possible. And I have an i9 computer with a 3060 graphics card. So by no means am I using integrated graphics, but I don't think I'll be able to go to 4K 60. By the way, a friend of mine gave me this as a spare. Anybody have a remote for it? A Samsung 3D Blu-ray player? You can always use spares of crap like this. I don't know what the exact remote is, and knowing my luck, all I need is, you know, the basic controls, but knowing my luck, I'll spend the $8 on eBay and get the wrong one and it won't work. It is kind of fascinating to me to see how noisy the Wii output is, and how low of a priority it was for Microsoft, geez, for for Nintendo at the time. And it's, you know, graphics aren't what make a game, but shit graphics definitely take away from it. So it's just kind of sad to see that they've put all that stuff to the background. Like, I loved the remake of Link's Awakening. I liked the graphic style. I really honestly enjoyed all of it, except there's this weird flicker. And I see it on so many different Switch games. By the way, let me. Focus. Come on, autofocus. Ooh. There we go. So that'll be for next time. I'll be testing the Wii to HDMI at some point. I can't imagine there will be any issues. I think this is going to perform exactly the same as the Xbox to HDMI. In fact, there's less chance of things going wrong because the Wii doesn't support 720 and 1080. But so yeah, that's a sneak preview for next time, I guess. Monty, when's the X-Files podcast with Scarlet Sprites? When I get around to finishing the first season, so we can talk about the first season. And I think maybe we'll do every 6 months to a year, I'll watch all the episodes in a season, and we'll go back and just talk about it. I'd love to do a podcast like that, you know, once or twice a year, just talking about X-Files. It'd be a lot of fun. Yeah, Nishigama, just search retro, or just go to Wobbling Pixels on YouTube, and that Wii video just sums it all up. It's really, it does a great job with that. All right, well, that's it for this time. Thank you all so much for everything. This is just very cool. I really appreciate it, and I will see you all hopefully soon. Maybe even this weekend, but at least next week. So. You're all the best. Thank you for the super chats. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you soon.